Hello and welcome to Nano Tuesday. Today I want to talk about website security and why many leave it until it's too late to sort it. Here's my top 5 tips with a bonus at the end on how to secure your website quickly, easily and efficiently. Ready? Let's go. Over the last 15 years that I've been working with websites, I've seen literally hundreds of infected websites, either with malware, scams, bots, redirections, you name it, I've seen it. And 9 times out of 10, businesses and owners are usually completely unaware that their site is infected. Many businesses, from small to large, and you'd be surprised how many big name brands don't implement security, leave security until last minute, and usually until it's too late. Before we dive in, these tips I'm going to be specifically talking about WordPress websites. However, they will work for any website platform. The reason why I've chosen WordPress is it's the most common CMS. It's used by approximately 40% of the world's websites. That's around about 75 million websites, and it's the most popular CMS. A quick caveat about these tips, I'm not going to cover really basic things like using strong passwords and not sharing your password, as well as updating your site and making sure that you have the latest updates for your plugins. Those are really basic things and you should be doing them as an absolute minimum. So tip number 1, use a WordPress specialist host. If you pick a WordPress specialist for your website, they're going to know which vulnerabilities to look out for, they're going to know the basics and best practices to use when setting up your WordPress website. And in any case, outside of WordPress, all good hosts should have security surveillance and monitoring in place, as well as some form of security protocols to defend against things like DDoS attacks. Tip number 2, back up everything and do it regularly. I cannot stress this enough. So many companies we deal with do not back up any of their website data. At the very minimum, you need to be running daily backups. But if you are using any kind of e-commerce store or you are updating your website on a regular basis, you should be performing hourly backups. It's not difficult to implement. There are many different pieces of software out there that will do it for you automatically, and many of them are free. Tip number 3, enable a web application firewall. This will protect your website before people even reach your website. It will automatically scan for naughty IP addresses that have been associated with blacklists and automatically ban them. Number 4, this is my favorite, be a secret agent. So when you set up your WordPress site, do not keep the default username of admin. Change it to something completely unique and specific that only you will know. Don't use your business name, don't use a domain name, don't use anything connected to your business, your brand, or yourself. Use something very specific that only you will know. Number 2, hide your login link. So every WordPress website has a backend login link. The goal here is to rename it to something that no one would guess. They're not going to be able to spam your login page with brute force attacks. Make sure you secure your login. As mentioned before, it's obvious to use a secure password, but you should also be using 2-factor authentication. This adds an additional layer of security to your account rather than just relying on a password. And finally, tip number 5, scan your website regularly. And I'm not just talking about using tools online that do it. Now, there are many out there that are very good. The Security Scan is very good for checking if your site is infected with malware. But it's also really important for you to manually go through your site. Using a tool like Google Analytics, you can have a look at your page drill down and see what pages are where and where links are sending users to. If you notice anything suspicious like strange domain names or strange links that you haven't created, then your website has most definitely been hacked. And it's important to try and seek help as quickly as possible to remedy the situation. And finally, a bonus tip. If your website has been hacked very recently or in the past, many people will go straight to a disaster recovery specialist or a website hacked specialist. Now, I'm not saying there is anything inherently wrong with these services, but many of them charge extortionate fees to fix your website. Anything from a few £100s to thousands of pounds to recover your website. 9 times out of 10, this is completely overkill and totally unnecessary. If you are using any type of backup systems, you'll be able to bring your site back online very, very easily without any cost whatsoever. However, if you haven't been backing up your site, it's most likely your host will have some form of backup that you can revert to and then manually go through the site and repair it. If you've got any questions about a hacked site or how to fix your hacked website, be sure to drop me a line and I'll happily help. So, what did you think to my tips? Have you been hacked? Have you had any experience with this? Did you know about any of these website security protocols? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Until next week, I'll see you next time.